When you hear what I've got to say, I'm sure you won't be able to turn your head away.
Alright, we back with another episode of The Concrete, episode 42 here. We got another one of Chester High great athletes right here. My guy Terrence Cobb.
What's going on?
Appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I actually wanted to have you on for a while, man. I was paying attention to what you did your senior year, and what you did, I think is something kind of like unheard of for a Chester High basketball player. So we're gonna get into that, but I always like to start the show off with an icebreaker. My icebreaker for you is like, I know with everything going on right now with like John Morant, stuff like that, they talk about the music y'all listen to and stuff like that. But we still trying to hear what you listen to. Your top 3 artists you listening to before the game to turn you up.
Man, honestly, love Lil Baby. That's my guy.
Okay,
Lil
you Baby fan.
Definitely number 1 right now. I like Jadakiss actually. My pop put me on the Jadakiss, little throwback. I like Lil Durk too, a little bit of Lil Durk. You know, everybody. I like a couple guys, man. But those are my top 3 right now.
Okay. So I know you've been around the sport for a while. I actually know your dad. Seen him reffing when I was coming up, so he's a familiar face with me. But like, as far as your upbringing, how was it? Like,
man, ever since I could grab a ball, I've been hoisting it up, from my waist since I was 2 years old at the boys club, man.
Okay.
My dad, he really inspired me to play ball, and that's been my dream ever since I saw him play with his friends and stuff like that. I just love basketball. I love being around the games since I was a baby, since I was a kid. My mom used to take me into the games because she worked at a high school as well. Mm-hmm. So when she used to go to the games, she and my dad would take me in there. I would hate the loud noises, but I've always been around the game of basketball since I was a kid.
Okay. That's tough. So, as far as in your family, like, we know basketball, just like you said, your dad had you around the game, but like outside of basketball, like who in your family inspires you outside of the sport? Because just like basketball can only get you so far, but I know it has to come from somewhere else with you.
Honestly, it's kind of it's hard to really answer that question. People outside of my family, because I'm so in tie with my family. I mean, all I really ever had was my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. They're my support. They're my support system. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if I had to say somebody outside of school. Or my family, actually probably one of my teachers, my elementary school teachers. She's a special education teacher. Okay. And that's what I want to do besides basketball. She inspired me, to do what I want to do, mm-hmm. so I can get back to, special education teaching, because that's what I want to do, have my own institute. So, she just made me, understand life at a really young age. Okay. So if I could play basketball, get money from that, then I can do what I want to do outside of basketball.
Oh, I feel that. So, as far as growing up, so you would say the whole time you was growing up, that was your thing, basketball. But outside of basketball, like what other sports did you get into?
Oh man, I played baseball, football, and basketball. Actually, my best sport was baseball.
You look like you could be a pretty good baseball player.
I was a lefty. I'm a lefty actually. So I was a pitcher and stuff like that. My 8th grade year, we won the district championship, and then we made it to the sections. Then we lost in the states. But I was playing for Ridley area Little League, okay. And I actually hit a grand slam to win us the game and stuff like that. So I was in the paper and all that. It was a really cool moment, and everybody thought I was going to play baseball, but just my heart was at basketball.
Yeah, I feel like growing up, like baseball, it wasn't, you ain't get that same adrenaline rush that you got from basketball.
Exactly.
So I understand that. So, like, what school did you attend before coming to Chester High? Because you had a nice little journey getting here, the whole process and everything. So where did you attend before getting here?
First, I was at a school in Upper Darby called Hillcrest Elementary School. Then I went to middle school for a year, 6th grade in Drexel Hill Middle School. Then I moved to the Morton area. And then I went to Springfield for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. Then I moved over here.
Okay. So what made like what goes into that move? What makes you want to make that move? Because like it's a lot of pressure being a Chester High basketball player, but being a Chester High guy transferring in, it's even harder. So what went into that whole decision?
Man, you know, since I was a kid, like, you know, like I told you before, I was always around my dad. And well, I mean, both of my parents, but, you know, the boys club, being around the boys club, playing in Chester Biddy League and stuff like that. I was just trying to finish what, you know, I started and what my family started. So it just felt like home. It just felt like home. You know, just the Chester environment. It wasn't really no pressure. I really embraced it. So you know, it just felt like home.
Right, and I actually noticed that. That's another thing that's kind of crazy. Like I noticed that you definitely embraced, because the pressure that was on you with your season y'all had and everything that was going on, it was a lot of pressure on you. But not one moment did I see you like, all right, I'm gonna back down from it, or I'm gonna chill, or take an off night. You was doing your thing every night, so that's respect.
Thank you.
So as far as getting here, in the first season, what happened with the first season you getting here, man?
Man, everybody welcomed me with open arms, man. Everybody welcomed me with open arms. You know, Coach Taylor, we had a phone call, we talked about it, and I can't thank my support system enough. You know, my mom, my dad, and you know, they just supported me through the whole journey. You know, it was hard. I gotta be honest, it was really hard. You know, starting off, I didn't know what to do. You know, coming into Chester, it was hard because I didn't know where I was gonna fit in at. You know, I know we had a couple guys, you know, a couple leaders on the team and stuff like that, but I played with them before in previous years, so it was a very welcoming experience once I got here, and it just showed me, you know, the grind, what it is, you know, what this is real life, you know, if this is what I really want to do.
Right. So what went into getting here? All right, you got here, and then what went into the whole transition to try and get on the court, like that whole process? Talk about that.
Well, I mean, we talked on the phone with Coach Taylor, me and my dad. I gave him a call, and you know, since then everything was set up. You know, I got into STEM, which was a huge blessing. And then I knew some of the guys already, so I texted actually one of the leaders, and you know, he was like, "Yeah, man, you would fit in great. Everything would be good. You know, that would be a really good fit, because you know, we got a couple young guys coming up, and then you know, we got a couple, you know, older guys, you know, that mentored us, because we played for We Are One Future actually together. Right. So we were all already close knit." And you know, it was a really easy transition, you know, welcoming transition from, you know, STEM Academy to, you know, the basketball court. All the coaches and everybody, you know, all the players, they accepted me, you know, like I was family, because, you know, we were family, and we still are family.
So that first season you was here, like what I'm hearing, like the first, what you wasn't eligible to play, like the first.
Just the first game.
Yeah, just the first game. Why was that? What's the whole thing about that?
Minor setbacks for major comebacks. That's how you know, I looked at that. The first game, I got told that Friday. The game was on a Saturday, and I got told that Friday that I couldn't play. You know, there was a lot of politics, and you know, I just thank God for getting me through that first week, because you know, it was really hard. I was ready to go. I was ready to play, and you know, it was just like, you know, all that I worked for, it just got killed. It just, you know, it really upset me at first.
Right. So the reason why I asked you that, because that's very common now in today's game, and it goes on often. And I noticed, like, you didn't let that tear you down. You didn't do something stupid. You didn't, like, a lot of people would let that situation just be like, man, I'm done with this.
Right.
Like, what did I do all this for?
Right.
But you held your composure. So that, like, that's why I asked you that, just to hear how you thought you went through it, because other people need to hear it too.
Yes, sir.
So as far as your senior season, man, like, you came out and did your thing, man. How much you average? Let the people know, man.
20.5 a night, man.
Okay.
Blessing, man.
Giving out gas.
Blessed.
I see what's going on.
Blessed.
So, like, I said it to you before, like, I've been watching Chester High for a long time. I grew up watching Chester High, and I never seen nobody on Chester High teams really go out. Like, it's a lot of great Chester High teams, but like, to go out there and really average a dub playing in this program is difficult.
Right.
Like, no matter how you think about it, because it's unheard of, kind of. So how did you go out and do it well, you think? Especially just getting in the groove of things you're seeing.
Sure. You know, I just gotta, put the testimony to my hard work every day, before the season. Behind the scenes, me, my dad, me, and my trainer, Coach Zay, he just, he told me you gotta grind when only one person watching, when nobody watching, just me and him in the gym every day. So, that's my testimony, just hard work every day. From my junior season, I would have never thought that, my senior season would be like this. But just thank God for that, just there's no pressure. There was no pressure at all. I just had to, just continuously go back to, the stuff that I worked on every day.
Mm-hmm. So, you averaged your 20.5, just like you said. Then you finished the season. They had you second team All Delco. Mm-hmm. How did that feel? I ain't trying to hear all the humble. You cool with it, you nice and everything. You had to had to hurt a little bit.
For sure, yeah, it did. Like I said, it's a lot of politics going on with that stuff, man. But that's another thing, when I couldn't play that first game my junior season, I couldn't play in the playoffs, I have the memory of anybody else, man. I just remember that stuff. I remember the stuff that really hurt me. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna keep me going. That's what keep me going. That's what keep me, it keeps me going. It really does. Right. Because all that, how I feel, all that upset, I try not to get too upset, about the things like that, that stuff on paper, because I know what I did. A lot of people know what I did, and I know what I stand for. I know I can go toe to toe with anybody, I feel like. Right. So I mean, as long as I know that in my heart, the paper can say whatever, but I know I average 20.5 a night, second, in the county in threes and stuff like that, and not too many people can stop me. That's how I feel.
It's okay, man. I like that. So being as though how your senior season went, y'all didn't really play too well, but you had your individual success. What do you think was the best part about your senior season?
Just being with the guys, man. To be honest, I mean, the road trips that we take, I wish we could have took a little bit more. At first it was a struggle, it was a little animosity in here. We didn't really have our team situated at first, but I love all those guys, man. The things that we went through, everybody was talking about us, but what happened in the locker room stayed in the locker room. We had all this doubt outside of us, and even though, we didn't have a winning season, or the season that we wanted to have, everything kept in here, and everybody, remained thorough through all the negative situations. So, that's probably my favorite part, being with the guys.
All right, so we talked about basketball and everything. Well, what's your hobbies outside of basketball? When you're not in the gym grinding, you don't got a game, what you doing?
Family time. Okay. Family time. Even though, I'm with my parents a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm with my parents, and one of my homies, we go out bowling, putt, and, miniature golf, all that other stuff, man. Going to the mall, shopping, going out to eat. I do a lot of things by myself as well. But, I just like being with my family a lot. I'm really a family guy.
That's what's up. So it's your senior season, man. What's your plans for the next chapter, the next level? What you think where you going at with it? What's going on?
I'm going to prep school, actually. So okay. I'll be attending a prep school. It's almost official. I'll be, it's around the way. It's close to about 20 minutes away. And, the announcement that's coming very soon. But, I'll be at a prep school 2024. So I will be in the class of 2024.
Okay, that's tough. At least you taking your talents to the next level.
Yes, sir.
You trying to get to the next, using all the stuff you've been through, you scored the 20 points, the season y'all had, but to still take your talents to the next level. Mm-hmm. Genius. Even though it's not where you want to be,
exactly.
You still fighting for something.
Sure.
You're still
every
a dog
day.
fight. You're still
every
in the dog
day,
fight.
Man. Every day.
Right. So, how did you feel about your role as being a leader this year? Because just like you saying, a person like you wouldn't usually be a leader on a team like this, coming in and stuff like that. So how did that happen, and how did you embrace that?
Man, you just gotta, embrace it with open arms. Not everybody enjoys the cards that they were dealt with. I mean, now me, I love being a leader on the team. I love, expressing how I feel. But sometimes, it was sometimes you have to stay back and be quiet and watch what others do.
Yeah, you gotta learn a certain type of leader.
Exactly. So, you have to know your personnel. You have to know who you're dealing with. So, I mean, it was a learning experience, I could say. Even though we didn't have a successful season, there's always positive in a negative situation. So I feel like it was a learning experience.
Right. So what's some self goals you think you accomplished for yourself this year? Because I know you ain't go out and say I'm about to go average dub.
No.
I ain't trying to hear that.
No.
So what's your self goals that you went out and accomplished this year?
I could play against anybody. I know I could play against anybody. I mean, with a supporting cast, it could be anybody on my team. I just feel like, you know, I could push through, and you know, I could get better, you know, by, you know, even though by losing, you know, winning, losing, whatever the case was, I feel like I could feel myself getting better, and I know that, you know, my hard work has really paid off.
Okay.
It wasn't unseen.
Okay. You're definitely right. Like, all the work definitely gonna pay off eventually. So, tell me about a time that you felt uncomfortable, and what did you learn from it? It don't gotta be no sports.
Yeah,
It
sure.
can be life, girls, whatever, school, whatever you wanted to be.
Okay.
And you couldn't ask your parents for help. It was one of those type things.
Okay. Let me think about this, man. Okay. Somebody, you know, that's real close to me, they, you know, during the transition, you know, and during the move and stuff like that, I didn't have their full support. And, you know, I didn't really know how to tell anybody because, you know, it was kind of like I was going behind somebody's back. So I didn't know how to really deal with, you know, somebody that's always on my side, always there, always been for me. You know, I didn't know how it was to not have their full support.
Right.
So it was a difficult situation. You know, it was like a weird time. You know, I felt more weird more than anything. It was just, I wasn't angry, I wasn't upset. It was just like, damn, man.
It was just uncomfortable.
Exactly.
But that's what makes you great.
Exactly.
You got to be in those uncomfortable situations, because probably the person that it was, they probably was always there for you, but you probably needed to see that, like, all right, this time maybe I'm on the wrong, or maybe we gotta just figure it out. But this time I know you're not on my side, so I gotta figure it out without you.
Exactly. You know, I gotta figure it out on my own, and you know, I know that person loves me to death. But it was just like at that time, like, you know, like it was hard. It was hard. It was definitely rough.
That's understandable. So I ain't asked you this, but I meant to ask you, what type of things, because we know your situation, you said you're going to prep school, but like went into that decision, because that's a humbling decision for any kid your age. You just averaged a dub. That's a humbling decision, and you know that you're trying to become greater. You know it's a process. So like went into all that decision.
Well, first off, like I said earlier, I never knew any of this was going to happen. You know, I take every day as a blessing. You know, even to be able to wake up, stand up is a beautiful blessing. You know, that I pray about every morning. So you know, after saying that, the whole prep school situation, I felt like, you know, what I did this year, I feel like the offers that I had previously before making the prep school decision, I feel like I should have had better offers.
Right.
I mean, that's just, you know, how I personally feel. I feel like I'm a Division I caliber guard. Now, it doesn't have to be North Carolina, Duke. It doesn't have to be any of that. But I feel like, you know, I'm a low to mid-major Division I guard.
Right.
So until I get there, you know, this is my round. This is the round.
I definitely feel that. Like, I had this conversation with a lot of people. Like, you ever think about, like, just like you're saying, like, I feel like you could probably play at the Division I level, because people don't know how big Division I is. They just think the bright lights and the big schools and all that, but it's thousands of schools.
Yes, sir.
So, like, did you ever think about going somewhere and just enrolling and walking on?
I mean, me and my parents, we talked about it, you know, we thought about it a lot. I mean, even with the prep school situation, I was late on deciding where I wanted to go. Everybody was asking me, yo, man, what you doing? I got people texting me, calling me. I haven't heard from since the basketball season, asking where I'm going.
Right.
We did talk about, you know, enrolling, you know, being a walk-on, and, you know, that's a risk I don't think I would be able to take, knowing that, you know, I have a prep school here, or, you know, a different school where I could be for sure my spot locked in. I know I'm good enough to, you know, to go toe to toe, like I said earlier, with anybody. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that's a risk that I'm willing to take, you know, with my future on the line.
Okay. So, like, that's one of the questions I just want to ask, because a lot of kids going through that same situation, they don't know how they're going to get through it, and I just wonder how you came up with that, because I always think about that. I be thinking, like, a lot of my friends and stuff that hooped and stuff like that, I be like, yo, they could have walked on anywhere.
Right.
There's no way. But just like you said, you got to have the understanding and know what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I feel that. So, when did you feel your most confident?
Oh, man. Probably the beginning of the season. Definitely first round 5 games, man. We played first game we played West Philly, had like 24, Downingtown West 22. We played 3 Delaware schools. Actually, first 6 games, my bad. We played like 3 Delaware schools. One of the we played at Howard, but we played Dale Castle. It was one of those tournaments, and I actually won the MVP. Then the 6th game we played Reading. You know, that's always a good matchup. You know, that's always a great matchup. You know, them boys, man, they can play ball. Right. They can ball for sure. And you know, when I was playing up at Reading, it was all, you know, it got to the point where I was wrestling and stuff like that. These fans was yelling my full names. You know, if you my family, my friend, you know, I either go by TC. You know, my dad got his own nicknames for me. You either by TC or T or whatever it is. They yelling out Terrance. So I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. And then I actually had 24 against Reading, and I was like, man, like, I can do this. Like the first 6 games, you know, the first 2 games, not a fluke. The first, you know, 5 games, not a fluke. Mm-hmm. And once I went up against the best, you know, they coaches and, you know, they players was giving me credit, I was like, man, this is it. This is it. I know I can play against anybody.
Right. So what do you think motivates you, though, to keep, like, just like you're saying, like, you a person that's willing to learn from his losses, you willing to, all right, I messed up this day, I'll get in the gym, work out, and figure it out the next time.
For sure.
Like, what is the motivation to keep doing that? Because some people will give up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm human. I was like, you know, I want to say about a month ago, I was thinking in my bed, like, man, like, prep school, you know, that prep school is like, it's not a secure thing until, you know, you really sign the papers and you locked in. Right. So right now, you know, I'm kind of going through, you know, I'm in the confused stage right now. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's getting ready to get, you know, the papers getting ready to get signed and stuff like that. So, you know, I will be locked in soon, but you know, with things like that, you know, they're never certain until it's actually signed. Right. But my motivation, man, honestly, just like seeing what my parents go through, like just to see what my family like went through to get to here. Right. Like, you know, we weren't in the best living situation, you know, at Upper Darby at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it really wasn't, you know, it wasn't the best situation. But, you know, now that I'm older, to notice that what they went through, you know, they bought me everything they could, you know, even with the money that they didn't have. Mm-hmm. They provided for me, and they never let me, you know, see them like, you know, break down or, you know, discourage me and stuff like that. I didn't know what was going on half of the time. Right. So, you know, just to see my family work so hard for me, right. I feel like, you know, getting a full scholarship and, you know, getting paid what I love doing, you know, is the ultimate reward for me.
Definitely. And I feel that. And that goes into the next thing I was asking. So you think, like, 4 years from now, like, what do you want out of all this? I hear you say you can get a free degree. That's what you like.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like that's the ultimate word to give back to your parents. But what do you think you gonna be at 4 years from there?
Free school, man. 4 years free. I want to be able to feed my family off of doing what I love, because I see too many people, you know, too great of a talent, you know, and they working somewhere else, they doing something else, you know, they didn't follow through with the plan, and I just want to feed my family off of what I love doing. Mm-hmm. You know,
I feel that. So there's a lot of kids look up to you. A lot of kids seen you drop that 20 points.
Yes,
they seen that.
Sir.
So what would you tell them, the ones that look up to you and trying to do the same thing as you?
Keep grinding, man. Keep grinding. It's a slow but steady grind, man. I'm trying to tell you, I done got whooped up on. Then, you know, people done broke my ankle, whatever the case was. They done grinded me up for 25, 30. You know, I've been through that. You know, when I was younger, I was decent, but I wasn't that good. And, you know, around my area, I was the man. But then, you know, when I started getting to the Philly area, outside the Philly area, AAU, I wasn't that good.
Right.
So, you know, just keep on working, man. Keep on. I done been through it all. My dad cussing me out, yelling me when we getting in the car and all that. I done been through it all. So, I mean, like, just embrace it. All the losses that you take, keep embracing it, man. It's going to pay off. It's going to pay.
All right. This is episode 42 of The Concrete.
My man, thank you for having me, man.
Appreciate you, man. Keep tuning into The Concrete. Love you.